Hi, my name is Dr. Ron Peek. I'm a chiropractor in Mount Laurel, and I'm making this video today because I want to show it to my patients, primarily to introduce them to the anatomy of the nerve system, but more importantly, the role the nerve system plays in their health and how interference to nerve activity can create disease or sickness problems. So we're going to talk about the nerve system today. Anytime we're going to talk about the nerve system, we always want to start at the top with the most important part, and that's the brain. Your brain is both your computer and your generator. By that I mean the brain is a computer because it's continually making decisions about what to do with the body, and it's a generator because it generates an energy that is absolutely essential for you to be alive. We'll call that life energy. So we start with the brain, your computer generator, and then an extension of the brain called the spinal cord. The spinal cord is what carries that energy and those messages into the body itself. And this part is what's considered to be the central nervous system, the very center of the nerve system. And then extending, we've got to get that messages and the energy out to the body itself. So there's a series of what are called peripheral nerves, or nerves that go out to the body, and that's the peripheral nerve system. So when we talk about the nerve system today, as we are, we're simply talking about the entire nerve system. So very simply, you've got your brain, which is your computer generator, sending information and messages down the spinal cord, and then out over the nerves into the periphery to go where? To go to all the different muscles, organs, glands, and parts of your body. Now, please think about this for just a minute because it's really important to understand the role that the brain and nerve system play in maintaining this thing that we call health. Every single organ, every muscle, every gland, as a matter of fact, Gray's Anatomy tells us that the brain and the nerve system control and coordinate all of the other systems, organs, and structures in the body and allow you to adapt to your environment. Now that's a lot. Controls and coordinates all the other organs, systems, structures of the body. Example, your heart. Now the brain doesn't just send energy to the heart to let it beat 72, 75 times a minute. The brain sends messages to the heart to help it speed up or slow down to meet the needs of the body, just like it does to the liver and the gallbladder, spleen, etc. Organs don't just work. They speed up and slow down to meet the needs of the body. Some people call this the Goldilocks theory of health. And I'll share with you the Goldilocks theory of health now. If you remember Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Goldilocks went into the beds, found one was too hard, one was too soft, and the other was just right. The porridge was too hot, too cold, or just right. And that's really very similar to how the body works. Things can be too fast, too slow, but they really should be just right. So if a muscle is too tight or too loose, it needs to be either tightened or loosened more to make it just right. But the point is, the brain and nerve system is what maintains that just right in you. And that just right is what we call health. So an organ can speed up or slow down. It can be hyperactive or hypoactive. That's only when it's not being controlled properly by the brain and the nerve system. So the messages and the energy that come from the brain, down the cord, gliding over the nerves, literally maintains that thing that we call just right, which is also what we'll call being healthy. Now, last but not least, the nerve system is so important and plays such a vital role that it's protected better than anything else. Your brain, for example, is surrounded by a solid piece of bone called the skull, the only organ you have in your body that's surrounded by solid bone. The spinal cord, remember that extension of the brain, it's not surrounded by solid bone. That would be great protection, but you wouldn't be able to bend or twist or turn or play golf or bowl or do any of the things you do. So the wisdom that put us together broke that down into 24 movable segments called vertebrae. And each one of those segments, first of all, they're like donuts. They have a hole kind of in the center, so the spinal cord travels down through the center of the vertebrae. You don't have a hole in your spine, that's just for demonstration. But then in order for the messages or the nerves to get from the cord out to the sides, each of these vertebrae has a notch in it. You've got a notch in the top and the bottom, and when they fit together, they form an opening that allows the spinal nerve to pass through. Now that is the only place in your entire body where a nerve has to pass through movable bone. So I want you to stop and think for just a minute and realize that's the most vulnerable area in your body for nerve interference to occur. And nerve interference by definition means you've lost your just right. So keep in mind the anatomy of the nerve system, as we just talked about, the brain, the spinal cord, the spinal nerves, and keep in mind the protection, the vertebrae, and the skull itself, and that vulnerability right along the spine. In order for that just right to occur, in order for the brain to communicate properly, these bones have to be freely movable and properly aligned. As long as that's the situation, your body's functioning properly, and we call that a state of health. All right? So we're going to talk more about what can cause interferences another time. But right now, that's all we want to talk about today. So thank you.